about me, about me, about me. If you ask about me, them niggas like to talk, but they don't know the facts. Like they will not end up leaking with an open cap. I smell the cocaine in the air while I roll through traps. My flow's a number, nigga, cause I spit that dope on traps. You better get your money, don't worry about it, G. I'm about to make millions, I don't worry about it, G. I never hold a nigga back to get more figures. Like Raw said, I was blind, she was a whole nigga. Man, I stunt large, while you front hard, until I dump it off and lay it on your front yard. I'm trying to see, though, until I can't see more. And for them C notes, I will get you repo. You better check my weapons, you see all I got is text. With a matching record, you see all I got is apps. With it, cut him out. No, you cannot flush it out. A pussy nigga smell fishy. Lotto gonna get him out. You jump about that window, better ask about me. Big money, heavyweight, if you ask about me. I keep it real, I don't never fake. Just ask about me. My name will bust through every state. If you ask about me, about me, about me. If you ask about me, about me, about me. If you ask about me, about me, about me. If you ask about me, about me, about me. If you ask about me, I don't need to sell no drugs, don't need to slang the packs. I just see the money from it when they bring it back. I make hustler music, the coke get weighed in grams. It's baked over with them stacks, I orchestrate the band. My mama thinks I go to hell if I ever die. Shit, how I'm living, I might get shipped to hell alive. But all that death talking really doesn't move me. I'm so hot, I had the devil asking for a cool breeze. My veins are ice, oh the reason why my jewels freeze. It's no Alicia, can I sing it if you move? A true G, never ran out till a loose sleep. 100 stacks under my pillow makes me lose sleep. I'm riding with the soldiers, they riding with the captain. My mind is on my money, my eyes is on the package. I'm trying to see 100 mil if you get the asking. And I'm a bitch if you.
Yeah.
Everybody get it. You don't want to miss this. Skip the ball.
I just pop me a molly. Nigga can't even sleep. Her pussy all in my face. Nigga can't even eat.
Skip the ball.
Nigga can't even speak. House surrounded by hitters. Nigga can't even creep. That fuck shit for the bird. Don't give a fuck about your feelings. Liddy gonna treat the bitches like a turd.
The ball.
We pulling up, just get a word. A lot you niggas flowing straight garbage. I'ma send you niggas by the curb. Fuck a charge in my lawyer and he's showing up and looking
skip
like
the
a
balls.
All speaking no English. Them niggas got the phone whips. Fuck boys and real niggas would never ever coexist. Just came home and got no paperwork. Never let a man on it lit. My bitch know I got good dick. Never talk about it with her friends. We gon' do this shit like a man. Walking down out the whips. You ask a lady for a favor. That ain't my language. Yeah, you talking French. Just turn the page on the chapter. Money pals with them after. So what the fuck is you saying, nigga? This shit don't even matter. Bitch know that I'm the man. Jumping in my DM thinking nigga sweet, trying to work me with the scams. I was on the plane shackled up with the lunch bag in my hand. Was on 23 and when he came by myself, hit me with them Zans. Oh man, if I'm not with my wife, then I'm with a bad bitch. All the mokies in there try doing backflips. Diamonds icy, you can skate on them hat tricks. Dirty hoes, pussy smell like a catfish. Wish you was on my team like my last bitch. Flush villains down the toilet, my last shit. I ain't stopping till they dip in the casket. Still dripping, but it's slow like molasses. Pop me a molly, nigga can't even sleep. Her pussy all in my face, nigga can't even eat. Got me clenching my jaws, nigga can't even speak. House surrounded by hitters, nigga can't even creep. That fuck shit for the birds. Don't give a fuck about your feelings. Liddy gonna treat the bitches like a turd. We pulling up, just get a word. A lot you niggas flowing straight garbage. I'ma send you niggas by the curb. And fuck a charge in my lawyer and he's showing up and looking like a nerd.
You want too much liquor, nigga can't even try. Say on the deuce, I done dropped about 5. I done step in the beat with my 5. You gon' run up in your head when he fry. All I know real, I ain't telling no lie. Get shit grilled, I'm telling you, come try. Got your bitch in my crib, that shit on island. Baby, I'm eating like FIFA. So you gon' take my shit, I ain't one of them guys. Rap on my dog, ain't
pussy all in my face. Nigga can't even eat. Got me clutching my jaws. Nigga can't even speak. House surrounded by hitters. Nigga can't even creep. That fuck shit for the birds. Don't give a fuck about your feelings. Lily gonna treat the bitches like a turd. We pullin' up, just get a word. I lie, you niggas flowing straight. Garbage, I'ma sit you niggas by the curb. Fuck a charge, hit my lawyer, and he showing up and looking like a nerd. Beat it.
Yeah. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back in the Ibidism. Shout out to the whole Untouchables team, Fatty. Shout out to everybody, man. Team Fatty, that was a good look for you last the night before last. The Juju was debated. He's actually somebody in these spaces. He definitely got a big following, been on major platforms. So that was a good look for the whole Untouchables mob. Don't forget, y'all subscribe to the Team Fatty show. Well, I think it's just Team Fatty. Poppy Blanco TV, Ilkhan Ali, Not for Humans, DJ Witch Doctor, Nino Nation, and all the other Untouchables. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody's checking in. Shout out to everybody that's going to be checking in. I know YouTube does have a shadow campaign. I don't know why. I ain't doing nothing wrong. I ain't fucking with these people. But nevertheless, we will proceed. Now, today, as y'all can see on the thumbnail, we have the next, and the name of this, title of this video is The False Teachings of Skip the Boss. The foolery continues. Okay? I need all of my YouTube subscribers and members, Supreme Elite team members. I need all y'all to follow me over there on TikTok. I will be going live on TikTok at 1:45 today. We are invading the melting pot for the false 1099 teachings that's going on over there on TikTok. I don't expect it to go pretty, but we are equipped to handle any type of situation as it. So we will be over there at TikTok. And before we get started in the video, I always want to set the tone correctly, and let's set it the right way.
About a scheme using a tax form to make fraudulent purchases.
Police say a potential customer will try to make an expensive purchase using a 1099-A form. The scammer says they have a huge amount of money in a government trust, and they try to use the form like a third-party check.
Unfortunately, there are people, businesses, individuals that are falling for this, and you know, they go out and they allow this person to use this as payment for whatever they're getting, cars, furniture, appliances, or whatever. They come back, and obviously the IRS is not going to send you a check based upon this, the bill that you send them.
According to Vaughn, businesses that fall for this will be left holding the bag. Any business encountering this situation should contact police immediately.
So, set the tone with that. Now, here's the thing. Let's say it was legit. Let's say that way of doing it was legit. Let's just say it actually was true. The IRS or the government would not be taking people to prison behind it. They wouldn't be putting this out there just to be like, well, they're putting it in the public to honor it in the private. There's no such thing as that. There's no such thing as that. So if it was actually, even if the method that you use to go about filing the 1099 was wrong, but the secret account and the way they think it exists was actually there, then they wouldn't prosecute you. I mean, it's just no way around it. And I played that last clip because that sets the tone. See, I always start off with what they're saying. You got the government officials, everybody saying this method is fraudulent, it's false, it doesn't work. So that takes me out the equation. Instead of, oh, you just saying that to do this, oh, you just saying that, you just trying to kill people's dreams. You have a person literally tell me I'm trying to kill people's dreams. Like the last thing I actually care about is these people's fictitious dreams. That want to do things the right way or have done things the right way, and the fact that these people are doing things the wrong way, and the people that are doing things the price doesn't necessarily mean a rejection. It just longer hold times, unnecessary examinations when normally it wouldn't, unnecessary scrutiny. I was thinking about securitization. Unnecessary scrutiny, unnecessary delays, and then they're trying to say, well, these scammers, these sovereign citizens, it looks kind of like this, but we don't know if they're this. We don't want to give them a refund if it's this. So a lot of people's stuff get just held up because they're just trying to figure out, is this legit? Are they what? So that's part of the price that people who do things the correct way actually pay. So I'm bringing awareness to this space, as I have been doing. Where at the end of the day, a lot of stuff is being messed up. And people who are otherwise doing things of others, and that's applicable to even me. I might have to go through undue delay. I mean, it's just not fair to the people who are taking the time. Now that's a dot. It's a point here. I don't. I was just watching back in like 2021, but I don't really get into the secure party creditor stuff. I really don't get into all that. I think that's what he teaches, but he just in this context right here, he actually does have a point.
He purchased a car. He copies everybody's information and pretends to know it. And he was telling you the same thing. Now he's retract that, saying, hey, you gotta be careful with the 1099A. This is exactly what I told you guys from the beginning, from the inception of their nonsense. The 1099 OID is an original issue discount. That means that you actually are claiming back what you allegedly paid out during the year. If you can't show and prove that, the IRS is coming after you. Because when you fill out these 1099 OIDs, you're saying that you paid out this money, you're claiming it back. If you really want to learn this stuff for real, attend my webinar.
Okay, no free promotion over here. Yeah, it's only deals with stuff you can actually substantiate. Only what you can substantiate. So the mere fact that they got people filling out these forms for the sole purpose of purchasing something, not something you've already purchased, not a car you already financed, not a home you already got a mortgage on. It's not that. They're talking about using these forms to buy things from the beginning, which brings me to my point. My thing is this, and I got all the black and white laws and codes and regulations that shows your interest in the activities via the securitization. And the IRS is saying, yes, you do have a claim in this situation. Yes. And the regulations are there. Why are people still insisting on trying to use these forms to achieve the purchase when they're saying if you go about it the right way, you get approved for a mortgage, you get approved for an auto loan, you may have a claim if there's certain activities that's going on behind the scenes with your auto and mortgage and credit card receivables, which we know. If that's what they're saying, this is the right path. Why are people still hell-bent on using the same forms to purchase these homes, get credit card line of credits, get an automobile, when all that they're saying is you actually got to be in a real transaction with these people? So why wouldn't these people just go get the mortgage, get the finance, and then recoup the excess back? Why take that long way? I just don't. But then the answer came to me. Well, if these people's credit score were sufficient enough to get approved, and they actually had the money for the down payment, which that's retrievable too. And if they actually went through the proper steps to sign that deed of trust, promissory note, and all that, if they actually had it, then they wouldn't waste time with it. So it lets me know the people that are still hell-bent on trying to use these 1099s to purchase property and stuff when you can just go get approved, then that lets me know that's why they're doing it, because they don't have the money and their credit score is not good enough to qualify for. So here it goes back to the poverty mindset. You don't qualify the normal standards, which the banks, the IRS, everything is set in stone. You don't qualify the normal way. So you want to access a secret account to achieve the same thing that you could achieve in your own efforts in real life. See, that's that poverty mindset, and it's dangerous because people are being lackadaisical in their financial lives. A lot of these people just stop working. A lot of these people don't do nothing, and they sit here filing forms all day thinking this process, not what we do, which is the right way. They thinking that 1099 process is going to substitute hard work, substitute your income. So they all buy this belief because they don't qualify the normal way. So this dream of buying a home with a 1099 gives them justification, not going out increasing their earnings, not going out there being productive in life, not going out there doing what they have to do, saving their money to come with the down payment or whatever. It gives them an excuse. But when it doesn't work, they feel like they failed or it's not fair. So then they start to become bitter because they're looking at this space as they're looking at it like from the standpoint of big house, big car, pay my debts, get money, free money, spend it, wash, rinse, repeat. And that's just not the reality. So then they act like they're missing something, but they're not missing anything. The only thing they're missing is their being productive in the world. So that's why these people still fall in the face of all evidence to the contrary. They will still pursue it because they need to pursue it. They have no other avenues. That's why they do it. Playing Russian roulette, all for material gains, and all because of their inner greed or just their pure laziness won't allow them to go through the proper channels. And then you can recoup on the back end. It's all about doing it the right way. Y'all, hold on one second. I have to use the facility.
Yeah. It's Liddy. Okay, I'm almost wasted, and my drip is on the spaceship. One more sip, yes, I can taste it. Come to my exact location. I'm so tired of my probation, doing time for revocations. I just toasted this occasion to give myself standing ovations. What I'm drinking, that brown, that white, with the bar sirs, that ass is attracted like a magnet. I never dodge her. I drink my problems away, and that alcohol is my sponsor. And I will indulge you to the point of death. That's only if my heart hurts, cause relationships never last, and being faithful is a thing of the past. Everybody's only after one thing. Both sexes can relate to that. Can replace the fat when I hit it from the back. Get your face in my pillow when I palm in your ass. Yeah, I graduated from the bottom of my class. Now I'm sitting at the top. You see the bottom of my glass. We can keep talking. I know that's where we're headed. It's my train of thought. It's so terrible to be embedded. Did I mean it? Only if I said it. Remember her face. I normally forget it. Get it, get it, hit it, quit it. Send it on the way. Package, shipment. It's hard to react if your heart ain't attached. Acting like it ain't love. You be calling her back. Wake up in the morning next to an empty bottle. Wonder what she said that made you really want to follow.
Okay, so, and then you have people like Skip the Boss that are telling people that this is possible. This is true. Selling these people these dreams in which he knows they're not going to be successful. Get a whole bunch of followers, a whole bunch of people to buy this stuff. And then they come back showing the proceeds of what they purchased with these people's money and making it seem like they got results based on what they teach, but it's really nothing more than your hard-earned money that you're spending. Man, look, got the Gucci. I think that's the Gucci. Got the Gucci sweater. Got the diamond-crusted ears. Has all that. Shout out Skip the Boss. Now, I don't know what he does in his private life, but if he's on here teaching a job, when he's teaching the scammy way, they don't really have jobs. They don't really have other stuff that they're doing that's being productive. It's not like they're putting in a time clock. Like, I actually got a timesheet. Clock in, so when I report my hours on my tax return, the IRS sees, like, they don't do any of that. All they do is sit here all day. They can get money out of you so they can sustain their life. Like Tamika, she's been well exposed. She's never tried anything that she taught. She's never done it. And the times that she did, she was prosecuted for in North Carolina by issuing false securities, uttering false securities, and then was teaching people about securities. Billing error. Every billing error from Tamika's class that discharged that shit, all that shit got reversed. Everybody. And I'm going to drop the comments from everybody's billing error. it all got reversed. It all got reversed. And that video still coming soon. Still putting it together. You're going to see all the comments. Everybody's shit got reversed. They showed that one screen when it seems like it went through, and people were like, yeah, I had that same screen. Then the next day, it got reversed. And then what did Tamika do? She started deleting and blocking everybody who got reversed. Everybody should have got reversed. She blocked their comments and deleted them. Why would you do that, Tamika? Because that discharge, that shit, that was an old class. According to Core B, that was an old class. And they had it on a Wednesday because Tamika was saying everybody gets paid on a Wednesday. Y'all seen the videos. Y'all seen the stuff. Follow Core B show. She got the whole, I think, like 14 videos. Everything dealing with Tamika. But Tamika, I'm not done with you. We got a video coming. So, without further ado, let's check out Skip the Boss teachings. Let's just see if Skip the Boss good stuff. Oh, yeah. And I have all their little ebook. I have all that stuff. I got all the shit that they were selling. I told you, y'all, people, they just send it to me. I got all, it's like, right? And then Tamika's that ebook scam, all that shit. I think people that purchased it, that fell for the trap, they send it all to me. I have it all. And I'm going to dissect it all. So now they can say, I'm just talking shit. I actually have this evidence to dissect it. So before we get started on this, ladies and gentlemen, and I hate to be a nuisance, before we read this and start to break this down, I want to refresh everybody's memory. I want to refresh everybody's memory. So let me do this. I want to refresh everybody's memory. The reason why I want to refresh everybody's memory is because where is it at? Okay, so never mind. I don't really need to I don't need to refresh your memory with the court case, but I will just, y'all know, check the community tab about the court case with the injunction, and they were asking right here, I'm just going to read it out for y'all, to ask the court to file an injunction to have her stop directly or indirectly advocating the use of false forms 8281 and 1099A or other false forms based on a false assertion that taxpayers can draw on the Treasury of the United States to pay their tax debt or receive refunds using Form 8281, 1099A, or other documents. Taxpayers can issue false Forms 1099 to a credit and report the amount on the false Forms 1099 as income taxes withheld on their behalf. And remember, based on the false assertions that's what they wanted the court to issue an injunction on. Based on the false assertion that taxpayers have a secret account with the Treasury Department, which they can use to pay their debts or which they can draw on for refunds through a process that is commonly referred to as redemption or the sovereign citizen movement or the getting a birthright, all that. So this is Skip the Boss, and we've seen the short. It's not real. It's not legit. So this is what Skip the Boss was selling to everybody. and their mama. And who are the people that's most, like the ones who will most fall for this scam? I'm sorry, are the people that are in vulnerable or desperate financial situations. I'm telling you, that's the only ones. Anyone with a brain would not fall for this. So let's get into it. Once you made an account on 1099online.com and you're logged in, select the dashboard, then select e-file new form, select the tax year 2021. Next step, select 1099A. Now it's time to start filling it out, the following forms. So let's go down here, and this is based on 1099online.com. Select type individual, SSN, your social security number. Why would you be filing a social security number if the transaction is not in the course of your trade or business? They clearly say individuals do not have to file 1099s if the transaction wasn't through the course of your trade or business. So if you're in the consumer transactions, individuals, you don't need to file a 1099. You don't have to report it. So the IRS, they don't really like processing stuff that you didn't have to report in the first place. But do you want to know why most people would still do it? Because in the back of their mind, in that little part of their brain, what they're really trying to do is get free shit out of it. So they're going to ignore anything IRS and y'all don't have to file that. Oh, well, I am because I want something free in return. That's the mindset. First name, middle. Well, first name, they say put first name, middle name. Already not following the directions. Second, middle, leave blank. Last name, beneficiary. But do you realize on your social security number, which he's telling you to put in, I think Skip the Boss did not tell his students that the IRS is going to check that social security number and look at the name. Did you legally change your last name to beneficiary? No. So now you have your first, let's say, John Adam beneficiary. But when the IRS inputs the social security number, it's going to say John Adam Smith or John A. Smith. So look at it. John A. Smith was going to be in the IRS system, but on the form you have John A. beneficiary. Did the IRS say put beneficiary there? You see? You got to start asking these teachers, under what authority are you giving me this advice? Like the guy that says, oh, put 10 times the amount on the vehicle. Under what authority and what publications, what instructions did the IRS say do that? And we're just getting back to the basics. People don't know how to follow simple directions from the people who are responsible for processing your documents. This is why I call this shit a disease. The poverty mindset, a disease. Because why would you ever take the advice of anyone over what the IRS says when the IRS are responsible for processing these documents? Wouldn't you want to have your forms lined as closely as you can up with the proper IRS regulations so you can have a chance of having your documents processed correctly? Why would you go start doing whoop-de-doos and underlays for the overplays and mixing all this around when the IRS is telling you not to do it? So the students are putting all their faith in the teacher instead of just reading what the IRS says themselves. So they are part to blame in this. A lot of these students who claim they got scammed, no, they're not. That's not always the case. A lot of the students were victims of their own greed or victims of their own desperate situations. You didn't get scammed. He sold you a dream. You purchased the dream. Because anyone in their right mind would know that this had no chance of working. And I don't care what anyone said. Well, he said he got it. I don't give a fuck if Skip the Boss comes and say, well, I got it. I got it. Because I'm looking at the law, the court cases, the regulations, and the government has said, no, not this way. So they're not going to give it to you. And if you were successful, that means you did another way. You probably did it the correct way, but selling the incorrect way, and which is what they do. For example, Tamika, she got the purchase order and did things the right way. She took the purchase order to her bank. Her bank wired the funds from a Wells Fargo account, that's the normal way how it works. But what did she do? Come back and say she did? See, she left the part out that she paid her own money because she knew that wouldn't draw anybody in because people would just go get a purchase order and go buy the shit themselves. You see what I'm saying? She left the part of how the payment actually happened. She didn't say, well, I got a purchase order and went to my own bank and wired the funds from my own bank account, my public bank account, Wells Fargo. Because she can't say that because the dream they got to keep selling people is that you can get all this material possessions through a process in which you don't have to pay for. This is why they said, want to know how to drive off the lot with just a purchase order without saying, well, it was still paid for real money. So people that got the purchase order, I'll be like, you still got to pay for that. Well, shit, why am I getting this purchase order? I can't afford it. If I can afford it, I just would have fucking did it myself. Why am I paying you to do that? Y'all see the scheme, the scam? It's the illusion that you can get material possessions without paying for it, right? It's the illusion of that. And people who are motivated by greed, who are in desperate situations, or not to be, inconsiderate, who ain't never really had shit. They're going to be like, oh shit, I can finally get the things I really wanted, but could never seem to obtain. When done correctly, the lender's name will look like first name, middle name, last name, beneficiary. Again, if it's not submitted like this, it will not be accepted and your bills will not be paid. Wow. So let's look at the 1099A instructions. Let's just see. He said it has to look like that. Well, let's just see if what the IRS, let's just see if what he's saying, let's just see if what he's saying is lined up with the IRS saying. Because that's the only way we can judge whether if he's accurate or not. So 1099 AC, this 22 version, but it's pretty much the same. So file form 1099A. Let me blow this up a little bit for you. File form 1099A, acquisition or abandonment of secure property for each borrower. If you lend money in connection with your trade or business and in full or partial satisfaction of the debt, you acquire an interest in property that is security for the debt, or you have reason to know that the property has been abandoned. You need not be in the business of lending money to be subject to this reported requirement. So all these teachers, first thing, students, you got to ask yourself a question. Did you lend money in connection with your trade or business and in full or partial satisfaction of the debt, did you acquire an interest in the property that is security for the debt? Or did you have reason to know that the property has been abandoned, aka foreclosure? Did you do that? Hold on, let's go back here. Is that you? I mean, all you students, is that your legal position? Did you lend money to the bank? Did you gain a security? Is that in contract? Is that in writing? Is it in writing? Yeah, I know the answer is no. So already wrong. Already wrong with the filing. So look, if it's not done submitted like this, it would not be accepted and your bills will not be paid. Well, this blatantly contradicts with the Internal Revenue Service said. These are specific instructions. Can't get any simpler than this. And we wonder why so many people's 1099As never ever fully get processed. Not even following the simple directions. And this, you don't have to, I mean, we started learning how to follow directions as kids. We talk about grown adults. This is very easy to comprehend. The problem is a lot of people abandon the real instructions because they know when they read it, it's not conforming to their yearn or their belief of getting free money. It's not saying that on the form. So they disregard the IRS and listen to the one that's going to continue to tell them what they want to hear, what they want to believe, because there's no belief. Does it say pay your debts right here? Does it say pay your bills right here? Look, let's go back here. What did he say? If you, again, if it's not submitted like this, it will not be accepted and your bills will not be paid. Is there anywhere on this form that it says, use this form to pay your bills? Is there anywhere? I'm trying to, does it say anything about use this form to pay your bills? Help me out, y'all. Let me know if, let me, I'm trying to figure out where did I get it wrong at? So it said people are paying so they don't have to study, but they are choosing the wrong teachers that's not telling them the truth. You must qualify and be legally justified to use these processes. Facts. You got to qualify first, and you got to be able to legally justify it. It's not just following because this teacher said to do it. So let's continue. If in the same calendar year you cancel a debt of $600 or more in connection with a foreclosure or abandonment of secured property, you see that? In connection with a foreclosure or abandonment of secured property, 1099-6. But most people don't read to understand the context and the definitions of abandonments of secured property. And yes, Ron T, you are right. Most people do pay other people so they don't have to read. Basically, you're just saying, here, I'm paying you to do it for me. I ain't trying to figure this shit out. Just do it for me. That's cool. But people that know what they're doing, you got to pay how they weigh. How you weigh. And people who offer those services, they're not cheap. Watch this. Look, no reporting is required for tangible personal property such as a car held only for personal use. Remember all that? I'm not driving, I'm traveling. This is my private conveyance. This vehicle is not for public use. It's my private vehicle. But these are the same people filing a 1099 for their private vehicle. So you're not even supposed to be, nope. When the IRS says no reporting is required, then if you file these forms, you're not required. They're not going to process them. So 90% of the people filing these forms, you're not required to file it. You were just a regular borrower. You did not have no interest in the property, a security interest in it, because you gave it up in exchange for the transaction to allow you to drive off the lot or move into the home. So you have not even met the legal threshold to file this form. Why do you think a lot of y'all say accept it, but nothing ever happens? This is one of the reasons why. Now, fill out the rest of the parent information with the info it asks of you. Do not check last filing. Once done, click add. If you do it right, watch this. If you do it right, that's a hallmark of a scammer. If you do it right, there's no trickery method to do it right. Either you're following the regulations by the IRS or you're not. It's not if you do it right. It gives all schemy vibes. If you do it right, it's not no if you do it right. Are you following the regulations or not? If you're following the regulations correctly. So far, Skip the Boss, there is nothing about your instructions that are even remotely close to the IRS's regulations that will allow any of these forms to be processed correctly. Nothing. Lender's TIN, your social security number, borrower's TIN, EIN or TIN of the business company you will be paying. But once again, how can you substantiate you are the lender if you don't even meet this? For each borrower, if you lend money in connection with your trade or business and in full or partial satisfaction of the debt, you acquire interest in property that is security for the debt or have reason to know that the property has been abandoned. So basically, in order to file this form, the way he's saying, Skip the Boss, what he's saying is you had to lend the business money. You had to be the lender on that auto or mortgage contract. And then you had to get a security interest in the business property. That's the only way you could be the lender. You see that? Does any of that make sense when you're coming in as the consumer borrower? Does any of that make sense? And this is why people are still chasing their tails. People got 1099 still saying acceptance and nothing on it since 2021. They done gave up. So you know those type of people, what they do? Once they realize they paid so much money, nothing ever happened. You know what they do? They'll just be in the groups, but they won't pay nothing. They won't join the webinars. They'll just be there. Oh yeah, just a spectator. Now click add in the borrower's box. Select business. EIN or TIN of the business company you're paying. Well, if you're paying, there's no need to be filling out this form. Just send them a check, cashier's check, money order, wire transfer, cash. I'm talking about a real check from a real account, which when they cash the check, the money comes out your bank account. Attention, the CEO name of business company you're paying. So he's saying send it attention to the CEO. Well, let's fact check that. Let's go here. Let's go here for a second. Now, can you send a copy of form 1099A to the CEO of a company you're paying the bill to? Can you send it to the CEO? Let's see if he's right. No. Hold on. And I'm pretty sure if I Google it here, it comes to the same conclusion. The answer, Skip the Boss. This is according to Bing, using the web. So this is all comprised of what he found on the web. And these are all the authorities it cited. No, you typically wouldn't send Form 1099A to the CEO of a company you're paying a bill to. Form 1099A is used for reporting the acquisition or abandonment of secured property, usually in the context of foreclosures or repossession. It's generally issued by lenders to borrowers when the property is acquired or abandoned. If you need to send a tax form to a company, it more likely to be a 1099 miscellaneous or NEC, depending on the nature of the payment. These forms are used to report various types of incomes other than wages, salaries, and tips. So if you paid a business out of pocket, you can report those payments that you actually made on 1099 miscellaneous. I mean, I don't try to limit myself just to one form. I mean, I could use the 1099A, B, C, miscellaneous, INT, OID. It's as long as you got the foundation, understand it. It don't really any point. You can, as long as it applies and you got the context, it's not, you can use pretty much. So, Mr. Skip the Boss. So, Mr. Skip the Boss. Attention to the CEO of the business company you're paying. Wrong. You don't send it to the business and the CEO of the business company you're paying. So you're wrong again, Skip the Boss. And Skip the Boss, all you did was got this for somebody else. This is all the same sovereign citizen, aboriginal, indigenous to the land rhetoric that was floating around in 2021, 2022. This is all this. It ain't nothing, no different. Just put a different name on it. Call it Skip the Boss and sell it. Everybody I got, you know how many fucking documents I got from people who purchased this shit from others, and the only thing is different is the name at the top. It's all the same shit. Address, the business address of the CEO. Well, we all know that's wrong. All the rest of the information in the browse box will be needed in order to press add to add this to the form. If you don't know the information, ask for it. Google it. If you can't Google it, call them and ask for it. If you can't get them to ask for it, ask whoever you pray to, because at this point, I can't do it for you. I bet you couldn't. Now it's time to bring it home. Box 1, date you filed this document. Box 2, the total amount of the bill on a monthly basis. Okay, well, let's just see what he's talking about. Let's just see what he's talking about. Let's pull up a 1099 right quick. Let's pull up a 1099. So, according to Skip the Boss, let me get rid of this one. Let me get rid of this one. Let me get rid of this one. Okay. So according to Skip the Boss, box 1, he says the date you filed this document. Now let's head. I can skip this one too. Let's head to the instructions. Let's just see what he's saying is lined up with what the IRS says. Because for so many people to say, oh, I don't trust the lawyers, I don't trust the IRS and all this, these sovereign citizens, oh, don't trust the lawyer, don't trust the IRS. They shown up always using their forms. For an agency that's so out to get you, you always find yourself using these forms. So, let's see. Right here. Multiple owners of a single loan. You see that? The record owner, if you're asking, such as in pools, fixed investment trusts, or other similar arrangements, the trustee, record owner, or person acting in similar capacity must file Form 1099-A on behalf of all the owners of beneficial interest or participations. You are none of them, because the record owner, the trustee, it's already defined. They're already named. So you're not even filing this shit right. So, just to make sure I'm clear, he says, box 1, the date you found this document. Okay. But the IRS says, box 1, date of lender's accusation or knowledge of abandonment. For an accusation, enter the date you acquired the secured property. An interest in the property is generally acquired on the earlier of this date. Title is transferred to the lender, or the date possession and the burdens and benefits of ownership are transferred to the lender. For an abandonment, enter the date you knew or had reason to know that the property was abandoned, unless you expect to commence a foreclosure, execution, or similar action within 3 months. If a third party purchases the property on foreclosure, execution, similar sale, the property is treated as abandoned, and you have reason to know of its abandonment on the date of sale. So what does it say here? The date you filed this document. It's not lining up in which the date the IRS says you must put on this document. Wrong. Skip the boss. Wrong. Let's go to box 2. The total amount of the bill on a monthly basis. Right. This sounds like the same stuff Miss Tamika was saying. I mean, Miss Jackson was saying, and Tamika was saying, and Coach MNT was saying, and Jonah Bay was saying, and the great white Hope Chris Hauser was saying, and the Jarrett's was saying. They're all saying the same shit. So, box 1, we got that situated. Box 2, he said the amount of the bills on a monthly basis. Box 2 says balance of principal outstanding. So there's some discrepancy there. So let's go to what the IRS is saying. Box 2, balance of principal outstanding. Enter the balance of the debt outstanding at the time the interest in the property was acquired, or on the date you first knew or had reason to know that the property was abandoned. Include only unpaid principal on the original debt. Do not include accrued interest or foreclosure costs. So on the date the interest property in the property is acquired, the date the title went to the lender, the date that the security interest attached, whatever was remaining at that time, the principal balance, not the interest part, whatever principal balance was outstanding at the time, that goes there. So did you have in your security interest against the bank, how much did they owe you at the time? Do you have that in writing that you had a security interest in the bank property? No. So you can't put that there. 2, what's the date an abandonment, aka foreclosure, what was remaining at the time? Those are the only 2 things that go on box 2. But what did Skip the Boss tell people to do? The total amount of the bill on a monthly basis. Do y'all now see? Just, you don't even have to be a tax expert, But can you see the logic? How is it even adding up? How is it adding up, ladies and gentlemen? Who is actually teaching correctly? The IRS, following their regulations. They're the ones that's doing it correctly. I teach it based on, see, the question, Denise Davis, is not about actually teaching correctly, because the IRS instructions and forms and their regulations regarding 1099s are all out there in 26 USC CFR. So if you want to do it correctly, how about you read the actual regulations and the codes in the instructions in the publications, because they tell you how to do it correctly. The problem is, from what I'm gathering from your question, so who is actually teaching correctly, I think you're still under the belief that there's some secret trust fund account that you can access by filing a 1099. And I just posted court cases, court documents where a lady went to prison for 3 years for doing the same thing that a lot of people are still doing to this day. And I got multiple court cases, federal court cases, IRS rulings that says. So when you say who's actually teaching correctly, it all depends on what you are talking about. Are you talking about teaching correctly as far as having someone help them finally get their bills paid, filing a 1099 from a non-existent secret treasury account? Then no one, because it doesn't exist. Or are you talking about who's actually teaching people correctly to do things the right way and be in compliance with the law, be in compliance with the regulations, be in compliance with their rules? Then I am doing it correctly, and so are the other people that I know that teach. We're doing it correctly. So it all depends on how you view the situation. Because if you still believe that there's a secret trust fund account that you can access by filing 1099s or other documents, I will be gladly read you the court case. And when they call it nonsensical, it doesn't exist. I spoke to the CID on the phone for 30 minutes about this, and he said it never existed. And I can show you the Dirty Dozens list put out for 2024 tax season, where they are increasing penalties and they are prosecuting people who tried this for 2024. And the last person that was prosecuted for this was as early as March 2024 this year. They're not playing anymore. They gave people warnings after warnings after warnings. You're no longer a victim, because you can go all on the internet and see that this is a sham. I'm talking about, that's what I'm talking about, doing things correctly. You're watching it. You're watching me in real time teach you correctly. You're watching in real time. And to be honest with you, you have no business filing a 1099-A unless you are an actual lender, which is in black and white, documented, and you have a security interest in the property. If that's not in black and white, I don't care what you think. Well, technically, we create the money and this, that. No, black and white, what can you prove? See what I'm saying? I teach it correctly. I've been teaching it correctly for like 2.5 years. And I have receipts. And so do people in my group. They have receipts. I don't know about anybody else, but we do it correctly, because there's only one way to do it, and that's their way. So let's go to box 4. The amount in box 2 plus 12 times. If your rent is $700 a month, times it by 12. See, most people will want to believe that's true, because they're looking like, ooh, I can get refund. I can get money. I don't have to struggle to keep my head above water. This will take care of all my financial woes. until they get hit with that $5,000 bill for frivolous filing. The amount in box 2 plus times 12. So let's see box 4. What does it say? The fair market value of the property. I'm not a rocket scientist, but so far, it only seems like this form is only used in cases of the lender getting a security interest in your property or when they filing a foreclosure. That's the only, I don't see nothing about a bill pay anywhere here. There's nothing here that's jumping out saying pay your bills, put 12 times the amount. So the fair market value of the property, also known as the FMV. Well, let's see what the instructions say. See, no one can say I'm doing something wrong when I'm going directly, bam. I'm going directly to what they say, and we're matching it up. Box 4. Let's see what the IRS says. Let's just see what the you're welcome, Denise. Let's see what the IRS says. Not what I say, not what Thomas Legacy says. Because if I say this is what I'm saying, people will dispute it all day. So I take me out of it and let you fight with the people that are responsible for processing this. Y'all fight it out with them. For a foreclosure, execution, or similar sale, enter the fair market value of the property. Temporary regulation section 1.6050J.1T/Q&A 32. They give you, bam, they tell you where to go. Generally, the gross foreclosure bid price is considered to be the fair market value. If an abandonment or voluntary conveyance to the lender in lieu of foreclosure occurred and you placed an X in the check box in box 5, enter the appraised value of the property. Otherwise, make no entry in this box. And this is where recourse, non-recourse financing comes into play. But here's the thing. Let's say you was in a home, you got 30-year mortgage and a 10-year market foreclosed. And let's say your home was worth $500,000 when you got it. But 10 years later, it's worth $750,000. Right? Do you know that extra $250,000 is your equity? You have a claim in? This is why the banks never like you getting your own appraisal. They always want to use their appraisal, which they're going to underscore the real value. You can actually recoup your equity because that's the, if they foreclose on your house at the $750,000 value mark, but it's really worth $500,000 per contract, that's $250,000 in the excess that is owed to you. Per the IRS. And it's in their regulations. 5, check this box. We don't really need to go over that because it doesn't matter. Let's go to 6. Type of account you're going to pay. And look at this. All the main bills that eat up people's pockets every month. Look how enticing it sounds. So all I got to do is fill out this form like this and I'm going to have my bill paid. Once people believe that, they're going to start spending their rent money. Oh, shit, I just filled out this form right after I paid my bill. Shit, 2 weeks later, shit, I ain't got to pay my rent because they're going to send that check. So I'm going to pay my rent. And I've known people to do that, thinking the IRS is going to pay it for them. And then they get behind on their rent. And then they go deeper in the sovereign citizen rabbit hole. Now they trying to fight it. I'm not the all caps. As soon as they get that notice to show up to court, they go run straight to the sovereign citizens. They get the playbook, they get the manual, they change their name. They do all these filings before court because before the hearing, because before the default and they got to go to court for the writ of possession, you know, all that kicking you out your place, they was Jonathan Taylor. Now, the writ of possession hearing, where you're either going to get evicted or whatever happens, now they show up as Jomeek El-Shabazz, third party, special intervener. I'm here on a special appearance on the all caps. It's not me. So that asks these people a question. So when you change your name, did you change your fingerprints? Because what boils down to the fact is the day that a social security number and birth certificate was lodged and that account number was created with your name on it, you pretty much lost every single national I'm not from here argument. Every since you did it, you lost it. Because there's no way you could claim a different nationality when all the evidence points to you were born in the United States of America. I can't come and claim nationality and say I'm from Morocco when I have a certificate of live birth, birth certificate, and I have a social security. But keep passing those tips right there. How can I say I'm from Morocco when I got a social security card and a birth certificate that's in the United States of America? How is that possible? Oh, let me guess. We have a right to declare. Not right now. We have a right to declare my own nationality. Now, electric, bill, mortgage, credit card. That's what it says in box 6. So let's go back here. Let's cross-reference it. Description of property. Okay. Description of property. Enter a general description of the property. For real property, you must generally enter the address of the property, or if the address does not sufficiently identify the property, enter the section, lot, and block. For personal property, enter the applicable type, make, and model. For example, describe a car as car 2017 Honda Accord. Use a category such as office equipment to describe more than one piece of personal property, such as 6 desks and 7 computers. Enter CCC for crops forfeited on Commodity Credit Corporation loans. So, let's go back here. Where does it say on box 6 to put these type of examples? Where does it say it? And listen, this is just simple lining it up with the actual instructions in the form. How can you turn box 2 into times 12? Box 4. How can you turn box 2, the amount of bill on a monthly basis? How can you turn this form into this? This right here. How can you turn this form with these instructions for this form? Look, how can you turn all that into this? Amount of bill on a monthly basis, the amount times 12, type of account you're going to pay, bill, electric, rent, mortgage, credit card. How do you turn that into that? This is the point. This is the point. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just trying to understand. Even if you knew nothing about this, only thing you have is just the instructions and this person's instructions. What he's saying. How can any of this make sense? How can anybody ever file a form when you're looking at the official documents from the IRS, the instructions, and it has nowhere, it's not even in the same stratosphere as being correct? How could people still file this form? Let me know in the comments. How can please let me know, how is that? I mean, I'm just trying to think from a logical standpoint. How is that even possible? Huh? I'm just trying to figure out the mindset. I gave my belief on what it was, but that may not be true. So given that the IRS instructions, I didn't even get to the regulations. I didn't even get to the real X's and O's. I just went on the basic instructions, and none of this applies. So in the account box number under borrower's box, this is the account number of the bill you want to pay. We don't even review that because, I mean, we should have enough sense to know that what it's the account number for the property, probably the loan number, something like that. So that's, you know, once you enter all the information on this page, finish, click finish. Now continue with the process to submitting the 1099-A. I want to make this clear. Keep paying the account. That's probably the only good information you gave. This process takes 10 to 60 days to complete. Not true. There's no set timetable. And we're not even talking about this bullshit. We're talking about even done correctly in the proper context. I don't want you to think this is an overnight process so you don't start paying your bills and now you're at risk of being evicted. Credit card closed, your car repossessed. And that's what most people did, stop paying their bills because they thought this was going to work. Repeat the process, this process for every bill. You are sincerely welcome, motherfuckers. LOL. Right. It is a laugh out loud. So 1099-A, purchase property. Even though we already know the courts have said you cannot draw on funds at the Treasury to pay debts or make large purchases. But those of you who just tuned in, let's just make sure. Oh, shit. How about now? Can you hear me? How about now? All right. Hope y'all can hear me. So for those of you, and before I continue, I just want y'all to really look into like, how is that even remotely possible? The instructions he gave to fill out the 1099 for the bill pay when we just went over just the simple instructions from the IRS, what the IRS is saying. And then it was nowhere near close to accurate. But for those of you, because we're in the bill pay section, purchasing section. So if any of you just joined, let's run it back just in case you missed it.
About a scheme using a tax form to make fraudulent purchases.
Police say a potential customer will try to make an expensive purchase using a 1099-A form. The scammer says they have a huge amount of money in a government trust, and they try to use the form like a third-party check.
Unfortunately, there are people, businesses, individuals that are falling for this, and you know, they go out and they allow this person to use this as payment for whatever they're getting, cars, furniture, appliances, or whatever. They come back, and obviously the IRS is not going to send you a check based upon this, the bill that you send them.
According to Vaughn, businesses that fall for this will be left holding the bag. Any business encountering this situation should contact police immediately.
Good God Almighty.
Like
So all right. The following document is the 1099A, acquisition or abandonment of secure property. This is the document that is meant for the beneficiary to fill out. But I thought that the instructions said if the lender in the course of your trade or business lent money and then full or partial satisfaction of the debt, you acquired an interest in the property or reason know it's been abandoned, fill out the form. There's nothing in the IRS instructions that says fill out the form for the beneficiary. Because if that was true, and the beneficiary is supposed to fill out the form, and the IRS did not have it in the instructions, they could be penalized. You can actually win against them because they're supposed to have it in the instructions. So they can't do that. They'll fuck themselves up. So this beneficiary crap that they're all saying, the beneficiary is nowhere in there in the picture anyway. Hold on. Let me ask you this. Y'all know, some of y'all most know how the trustee beneficiary relationship work. When does the beneficiary ever do fiduciary work? Well, think about it. You got a whole trustee. What does it look like you filling out the paperwork and you got a trustee? Now, if they would have said trustee, I would understand what he said, but you're saying for the beneficiary to fill out. The beneficiary don't fill out shit. That's what they got the trustee for. Yeah, I mean, y'all, do y'all see the blatant just misinformation? That don't even make sense. It's nonsensical. The following documents, 1099, acquisition, abandonment, secure property. This is a document. Okay, you got it right here, because that's what the form is. But saying the beneficiary, y'all see how they just put a 10 on the 2, add their own experimental shit on there? Yes, y'all. They sent y'all out on crash dummy missions to see if it will work and then get the information from you so they can now go do it. They never really did this shit. And if they did do it, you know they weren't successful. Oh, yeah. Tamika had a lot of her shit reversed first. That's how she knew the shit ain't work. Because in the beginning, she was doing it, got reversed. She said, fuck it, I ain't doing it. I'm just going to sell the shit. Notice how anybody in the discharge that shit, anybody that sound like they was getting some results, when they do their Q&A, you notice how she'll keep asking questions. Right, and you did this, right? And then what did you say to him? You see what I'm saying? She trying to figure it out so she could go do it. Yeah, I gotta pick up, man. People are so easily blind. That's what I'm saying. All people did was just substitute one form of mind manipulation for another when they joined these classes, these processes. That's all it is. All you did was substitute the government for these people. And they use this more nationality or this patriot movement as a cover-up. All the brothers, all peace and love, the Most High, all these dudes, the Most High, like they're ordained by God to do this. Jared's use religion like a motherfucker, so you won't question them. Always praying. You ever seen the husband he praying? He was praying too hard. Then he'll peek up at the screen, see who watching. Yeah, the Jared's praying. Now everything's prayer. Oh, they're praying. They must be godly. Don't question them. You question them, it's like you questioning God. Oh, they throwing religion in your face so you won't criticize them. And then with the sisters, you know how many Miss Jackson, Tamika, and all them scam so many women under this sisterhood code shit? Under that 1990s living single, waiting to exhale, man, they what? They got my sisters for real. And they use that sisterhood shit. Some of my clients admitted to me, yeah, you're right, Thomas. The only way, the reason why I paid her to follow her because she was just another black woman. They took her word for it because she was just a black woman. Sisterhood code. In order to understand, remember, Miss Jackson, Tamika, they've scammed more women than men. At least some men will call them out. But a lot of women didn't believe it because they think, well, that's my sister. She's a black woman. She won't do that to me. Shit. In order to understand this process, you must understand that there are two parties. The beneficiary and the trustee. The beneficiary can only benefit from this process. Sir, this form is not a trust form. This form is not a declaration of trust. You know what they had on this form? What they say right here? Oh, they'll be like, sign that's the beneficiary right here. Or sign right here is the beneficiary. Or turn it on the back and sign beneficiary. They stole that from the Great White Hope. I first heard the Great White Hope say that. When he said that, I said, yeah, this man that lost his goddamn mind. I watched that shit in 2021. Oh, man, they used to delete my comments from Chris House's group. I said, bro, you got that shit all wrong. A 1099 cannot be used as proof of insurance. And guess what Miss Jackson say? What she do? Yeah, because you can ride around with the 1099 in your glove box. I said, damn, you following exactly what the Great White Hope said? You tripping. The trustee is the person that the beneficiary trusts to act on their behalf to access the trust for the benefit of the beneficiaries. What trust? What trust? What trust? Oh, the non-existent trust fund account at the Treasury? The trustee cannot be the beneficiary, and the beneficiary cannot be the trustee. Stop with the stupid ass semantics. If you try to act as the other party, men in black suits will pull up and have a conversation with you, or worse. Now the scare tactic. No, if you file documents like this, men in black suits will pull up. So this is the steps to fill out the 1099-A as the beneficiary. Once again, why would a beneficiary ever fill out any tax forms? You are the beneficiary. The only form the beneficiary should be filling out is the 1040. Or if it's a corporation beneficiary on their Schedule K1, they fill out the 1120 or the 1065. All right, let's go. Type of business. EIN. Business name. Oh, God. Right there. You're asking to go to jail. In the indictment, this is one of the forms they use. They charge you with mail fraud, attempt to defraud the United States government. Right there. United States Treasury. 111 Constitution Avenue. That's not even the location for the Treasury. This is wrong anyway. I think it's the IRS address. District of Columbia. But why are you doing that there? You're not a United States citizen. Moors, why you You putting yourself back in the jurisdiction of the United States. Oh, you're only not in the jurisdiction of the United States when it's time for you to face the consequences for your actions. But when it's beneficial for you to be so, you'll put yourself right in their jurisdiction. You clearly are putting yourself back in the exact jurisdiction of the United States about filing this form like this. But it's only been so you're only good when you think you can get something out of it. I tell you, these Moors sovereign citizens are nothing but parasites. Now, individual, EIN, Social Security number, middle name, first name, middle name, last name, beneficiary. The way the name is displayed is called your beneficiary signature. Since you are the one who's benefiting from the birth trust, you must let them know that you are really you. And this is how you do that. Right. Like they don't already have your Social Security and birth certificate. So remember, first name, middle name, last name, beneficiary. This is how you will input your name on a 1099-A every single time. I also recommend you using the beneficiary signature every time you sign your name when you use your Social Security number to apply for obligations. I like the wordplay, apply for obligations. Attention, applicable party or company you're buying from. Address, name, company information. This is in the 2021. This was when it was knee deep in the 1099. I'm talking about you had people that was in the class, purchased a 1099-A packet, read it for like 2 days, started their new channel and trying to teach it. Like everybody was trying to come up off the 1099 wave. I mean, you had video, new channel after new channel talking about this. And I said in my first video, I think, on my second one, everybody that's jumping on this 1099-A wave won't be here in a year or two. Do you not remember there was a 1099 wave in 2015? It was a 1099 wave in 2006, 2007, 2008, early 2000s. This wasn't nothing new. All these fly-by-night teachers that was coming up back in 2021. Man, people have been, you know how long the 1099-A form has been in existence? Even the Patrick Devine process. I told everybody, watch out for the Patrick Devine process. That man is old. He don't care. He ain't got shit to lose. He already lived his life. He did, he was blatantly not following the rules because he believed this is my government. This is my shit. I do what I want. And I was telling the young people, yo, y'all following that man. He ain't got shit to lose. Y'all not fighting the same battle he fighting. He really got something out against them. Y'all just trying to get shit done. Y'all just trying to get free shit. He really trying to get at him. And everybody, majority of people that I talked to that came from that Patrick Devine class always got hit with big bills associated with the 1099-A. I was on the phone with one of them. The date you intend to submit this 1099-A, the total amount for the obligations you want to purchase, fair market value of the property, or any fees for gas, upkeep, furnish your home. It's the same shit Tamika was saying and the same shit Miss Jackson saying. If you want a house, if the house you want is $1 million, box 2, $1 million. Right. Everybody go fill out a 1099-A and go buy you a home. No, I don't need fucking tax tips. Let me ask you. Can you buy a home using Form 1099A? And if not, show me your citations. Let's just do a little quick research right quick. No, you cannot buy a home using Form 1099A. It only, y'all know, typically in the context of foreclosure repossession, it is not a form used for purchasing. It's not a form used for purchasing. That's what it says. It's very good. Right here. It's not going to say nothing about $10.99A is a federal tax